Again, good afternoon and welcome to the April 25th, 2017 meeting of the Architectural Review Board. The Architectural Review Board is a 9-member board appointed by the City Council and serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is the petitioner for each item will be asked to come forward, state your name for the record, and present his or her request. The board will ask any questions they may have. Then anyone wishing to speak to the proposal will be asked to come forward and voice their opinions. Each side will have 10 minutes to speak. Once your request is heard and the board's decision is rendered, you may leave the meeting. However, if you have questions for staff, please wait until after the meeting is over to ask them, or you may contact the staff at the office the following day. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and will render its decisions. Members with a personal or financial interest in any request are required to recuse themselves from voting. All decisions by the Architectural Review Board are final. Any aggrieved party may appeal a decision of the board to the City Council within 15 days. Petitioners may also appeal the board's decision to the Circuit Court within 30 days of the meeting. We have 5 members present, and it takes 5 votes to pass a motion. Because of the number of board members present, if you would like to delay your request, please let us know at the time of your request is announced. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the members of the board. To my left, Ms. Elizabeth Brown. To my right, Ms. Katie Williams, John Foshee, and John Hayden. Planning Control staff, Christy Anderson, Russell Stringer, Paula Richardson, and Robert Smith. We do have a quorum, and at this time I would like to send condolences to Paula Richardson and her family for the death of her mother. You have asked. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? Do we have any corrections or deletions or any additions? Okay. With that being said, the notes for the last meeting are approved as written. Our first presenter is Mark Giese. Request for approval of a new rear deck for the property located at 420 South Perry Street, Baldwin District. You may come up and present your, I hope I pronounced it right.
You did, thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mark Giese. I'm here this evening to request building a deck onto 420 South Perry. This would be on the back of the property. I believe there was a deck there at one time. There's the only way you can access the property is from the front and the back. The front goes out onto ground level. The back is approximately 10 foot into the air where the 2 doors coming out of the first and second floor are. All 3 other houses adjacent to it have decks, and this deck would be similar to those of the 3 adjacent houses. We would build it of treated pine on the back of the house. The size is approximately 5'6" wide by 22 foot long, and then it'd have a set of stairways, obviously, to get down to the ground.
Do we have any questions from the board?
Are you going to stain the treated wood or leave it natural? Or?
We're going to leave it natural for the time being. We'll probably use something like yellow wood so it has a natural look to it. Also, if we go with a regular treated wood. They're a lot lighter now, and within a year, the wood grain comes out. They're not as dark green as we used to see 2-3 years ago.
Any additional questions from the board, comments from the board? Anyone from the floor would like to speak on this matter? Chairman, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion that's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any unreadness on this matter? Any unreadness? Any unreadness? All in favor? All opposed? Your project has been approved. Good
Thank you
luck.
very much.
Okay. Our next presenter, Evan Austin, request for approval of a new driveway fence, garage doors, and tree removal for the property located at 251 East Fairview Avenue, Garden District. You may present your case.
Hi, Evan Alston. I've withdrawn the request for the driveway addition. I only have 2 requests, and that's the adding the garage doors to the existing garage and adding the privacy fence along the northwest corner of the lot. So, and the privacy fence will be pressure-treated pine, 6 feet tall, picture frame style, and the garage doors will be steel doors, carriage style.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the board?
I'm sorry, the color of the doors?
We're going to paint that one of the existing trim colors. It's a green color. I'm not sure the exact name of it.
So it's going to match the garage?
It will. There's an existing, those windows have green and then the tan color around them, but I'll probably go with the green.
Is that where it's going?
Sorry?
Is the red lines indicating where the fence
Where
is
the
going?
privacy fence is.
Okay, is that between you and an adjacent property owner?
It is. It's where there's an existing chain link fence for part of that distance, but it's basically the backyard of the house between myself and one of the neighbors, and then connecting with another existing chain link fence, just kind of close off that corner of the yard.
It's a nice fence.
Thanks.
Any additional comments from the board? Any comments from the floor? Comments from the floor? Chair, entertain a motion.
I move we approve the project as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any unreadness? Any unreadness? Any unreadness? All in favor? All opposed? Your project has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next presenter, James Mansell. Request for approval of an addition to the property located at 541 Cloverdale Road, Old Cloverdale.
Yes, sir. I'm David Allred. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay,
I don't think James has made it,
okay.
but I can answer any of the questions about it. Just proposing to add a screen porch and a sunroom above that to the house. So you can see that's the courtyard, that's the front of the house. It's obscure. There's a small yard right behind that hedge. And that the lower image is, again, looking at the side of the house where the porch will be, again, obscured by bushes. And then the next image is the actual courtyard that exists. So on the left side are doors and windows, and we're just going to come out with a porch about 12 feet and go across about 18 feet. That shows the elevation of the porch, and then the small sunroom on the top. We're going to match the roof line of the existing house and the new windows for a sunroom up above it. And that's an elevation from looking at the house through the hedge from the street. So this goes on the right side of the house.
It's very handsome. My only
Thank you.
worry is about this enormous tree you have here.
Yes, ma'am. I've had the foundation, the guy who's going to do the foundation come out, and he has measured. And there's actually the courtyard was dug out 9 years ago when the house was built. And so they excavated out to where they felt it was safe, I guess, for that tree. And so we basically are going to try to keep the wall. There's going to be a small brick retaining wall to retain all the original dirt that tree is rooted into. I don't know how old that tree is. I'm certain it's very old. It's humongous. But the foundation guy has let me know that that's of his utmost concern, is to make sure we don't compromise the tree at all. And I did have somebody come out recently and climb up the tree and trim some of the dead wood off of it, and he said he felt like it was in a good place because it's about 15 feet from the house on the, well, I'm not sure which one of those is mine, but anyway, it'll be about 10 feet away from the corner of the porch. But as I said, it was excavated 9 years ago, so I think we should be fine. But I don't want to lose the tree either, so very conscientious about the tree.
What kind of foundation are you going to have for the addition?
Slab with just a brick retaining wall versus what, a conventional foundation? Is that what you mean? Yeah, it's just just a slab.
And I'm concerned about the slab and the root system of the tree. How close is the slab foundation going to be to the tree?
It's about, I'd say it's 10 feet from the corner. I don't know if we can get to the edge, but the slab is actually going to be about 5 inches from where the floor, you have to step down about 6 inches out of the house onto a lower patio area. So they're not going to have to dig very far on the footers because the slab will be on top of the ground at level with the inside of the house. So we've got like 6-inch step down, so the slab we won't have to dig very far down in the courtyard to actually put the slab in. They'll put the footers in, but the foundation guy said the footer should not have to be very deep because we're not supporting that much weight above it.
Is there an existing patio where this porch will be?
There is flagstone that is laid, but it's not
It's
a
not in
slab.
concrete? Okay.
No, it's not, and it's like I said, it's about 6 inches lower than what the desired floor height is of the inside of the screen porch. And the guy I'm working with on the slab is going to put drainage below so any water can flow up underneath the slab because there is drainage on the front side, and keep the soil irrigated below it as well, according to how he explained it would be done.
Mr. Stringer, do you have any comments on this as far as the tree is concerned?
I would be very concerned with putting a slab in that close to that larger tree. Critical, the root depth on a tree that size is only just within 18 inches of the surface anyway.
Okay. Any further comments from the board?
Yeah, I'm looking at the photograph. It shows the tree and your slab or your flagstone patio. Is the foundation going to take up any more room than the flagstone?
Where the flagstone stops now.
Where it stops now. Obviously, the tree's doing fine as it is right now.
Are you looking at the same picture I am? Or?
Not that one. Can you?
Right. Okay, so the tree's about 10 feet past where the house is. It's hard to tell in that photograph. The one above it I'm not sure which angle the one above it is taken. I think the one above it is taken right out the back doors. So the tree is to the left. And then this is a side view. It's about 10 feet from the house, or 10 feet from the edge of where the proposed patio or sunroom is. And the proposed slab for the foundation comes out about 10 feet, and I think that tree is about 14 feet off of the fence line. You can't see the fence line, it's just past that courtyard.
Well, looking at the photograph that has the patio furniture and the tree,
Right,
are we looking at a
That's-
photo? That's where your addition is going to be?
right. That
Okay.
table is sitting at the edge of the,
That'll be where
Porch.
your screened-in porch is going to be?
right.
Okay.
I have that furniture there actually just to place furniture so I could tell how deep we would need to go.
So if you're looking at your floor plan right here, is the tree like up above here somewhere?
It's
Or is it in the corner?
there where your hand is.
Right here? So say this is the existing corner of your patio. We're up and over like 4 feet?
How far?
I'm asking
I
you.
think it's about 10 feet from that corner right there.
From the existing
Yeah,
corner?
because the courtyard is
Like
about
out
23
above,
feet
or-
deep,
Uh-huh.
and that tree is back to I think that tree is 15 feet off of the edge of the current house. And then there's another 6 feet on the other side of that tree to the fence line.
Okay, do we have any other comments from the board? Any comments from the floor?
I'm Darby Forrester, representing the Old Cloverdale Association. Mr. Mansell came to our meeting, at our last meeting, and showed us all the plans and everything for this. And, you know, we did ask about the tree, and he said the tree was staying, that it would not be harmed by doing this. So it sounds like y'all are working very hard to make sure the tree is not damaged, so.
That's my primary
mean,
concern,
yeah.
and as well as the foundation guy. And he
Okay,
basically
we can't
said-
hear you.
as well as the foundation, the guy who's going to do the foundation, basically, we're going to remove the existing patio that's there and look at the wall. I don't know that you can see the wall, but there is a retaining wall to the right of the table and chairs existing now. So they'll remove that and then examine what's behind that, and if we feel like we're going to get too far from that, which is really right where the chairs are, but it kind of is rounded, we will shrink the footprint of the foundation so that we're not digging into the ground that's beyond the porch as very much.
And I don't have a problem with the addition. I think it's very nice. Our concern, I think, Darby, and others, and it sounds like you've taken in consideration, it's the tree. I don't want to have you put on this nice addition and then come 2, 3, 4 years and say, I need to cut down an oak tree because it's dying because the roots have been covered, so.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I bought the house was the tree. So
I'm sorry.
I said one of the reasons I bought the house was the tree. So
I'm
I
sure it
definitely-
provides some very nice shade on that patio.
It does. It's nice.
It's, you know, looking at the picture, it's really sort of hard to tell because it looks like the tree is like right there at the courtyard.
Yeah,
So that's sort of hard, I think, hard to judge how far that
It's-
tree is.
yeah, it's not in the courtyard, it's beyond the
Yeah.
courtyard. But I don't have that view.
Yeah, just the angle sort of shows that, but.
Yeah, I don't think we have a photograph that shows its proximity to the house.
Would it be possible for Mr. Stringer to sort of work with you and your contractor, so when he's laying things out and stuff, that the tree becomes protected?
Sure.
Or,
I will
No.
not work on that project where a slab is poured that close to the tree because it's doomed to failure. I don't
Okay.
want to be ugly or sound ugly, but we've seen this before. Ashley Gilbreth got one block away where she put in her circular driveway. They weren't going to be too close to the tree and weren't going to dig too deep, and 3 years later I had to cut that tree down. So, seen it, done it.
Okay.
That's my professional opinion on that.
And I think that's a concern that we have too, is that is being so close to the foundation that you're intending on constructing is so close to that area. But at this time, Chair, entertain a motion.
Russell, is there another option that you would recommend?
I would love to see that thing on piers or conventional foundation.
About the tree.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you considered, sir, have you considered an alternative foundation? Mr. Stringer mentioned he felt that a conventional or pier foundation would be something that would not harm the tree. Have you talked with your architect or anyone, your foundation individual?
I haven't. I mean, I can certainly look
Please,
at it.
please do so. I did mention this to your architect this morning when I
Oh,
talked
okay.
to him on the phone. So he's also aware of the concerns.
Okay, yeah, I haven't talked to him today, and we can certainly look at it. We do have, I would think that we have the ability to do it, but I haven't talked to him
I understand you
about it.
need to talk to them. I would like to give you that opportunity, maybe get a report,
Yeah.
something from the individual saying that, yes, we can do this foundation. We can consult with Mr. Stringer, because again, it sounds like a slab is not, is not going to work.
Okay.
But it does sound like something raised that would, obviously let the tree encroach on the root system would. And I don't want to deny you something here, and then you have to start back all over again. If you could, I think, if we could.
and I think it's not really the slab on top we're talking about, it's the perimeter foundation wall, because it probably is continuous and probably about 4 feet deep, 18 inches wide, and that cuts into several trees. Whereas if you go to a pier type foundation, which is discussed, you can still use a slab to put your finish on, but there's piers that hold it in like a little beam, so you're less intrusive to your tree.
Okay, yeah, I absolutely will look at that. I mean, or bring you a plan. Would want us to bring back a foundation plan, I guess is the,
I think that's something Christie would recommend.
Well, whatever you'll have to make a motion on what you want to see, but I think any plan needs to show the location of the tree.
I was going to ask, better measurements to show what you want done, your finished product, and its location, where its relationship to the tree itself. Just, because what you've told me sounds like it's a little bit further than I think what Russell had in mind when he was talking to the architect, where it all may shake out. But
And Russell's been on site.
yes. So, something like that from your architect or foundation person would ease my mind a lot better, a lot more.
something.
Like a site plan that shows like all the adjacent big trees. Is this the only big tree nearby?
That you noticed, Mr. Stringer?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the design is wonderful. I think it's fitting with neighborhood. The concerns over the tree sound like the only problem. Is there a way that Mr. Allred does not have to come back before the board, that we can do this administratively, or would y'all rather see him
We have to,
come back before the board?
I think it would be, come back with it, because
When is the next meeting?
it's a month.
1 month.
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
I don't have a problem with coming back.
I mean, you're not hot to get this done this month.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
And
I
I'm
mean, I
thinking
want
that'll
it done
give you more
right, and I
time.
want to.
Well, we
I don't
appreciate
have any problem
that,
with that.
And that'll give you more time to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll talk to the foundation person and maybe get a
Great.
plan and plot the tree on there. And,
Yes, great.
yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
Okay, well, that's
All
a
right.
segue into our next question.
Thank
My
you.
next question.
All right, thank you.
Chair,
You
entertain a
need to
motion.
make a motion
Chair,
to
entertain a
delay or
motion.
table to May.
I move that we table or delay action on this request so the owner can get foundation plans for presentation to the next meeting.
A second.
Okay, a motion that was moved and properly seconded. Is there any unreadiness? Any unreadiness? Any unreadiness? All in favor of that motion? All opposed? The motion is. Thank you so much. Okay, our next presentation by Jennifer Barringer.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
request for approval of partial demolition of building, installation of parking, and a street screen for the property located at 121 North Goldway Street, Cottage Hill. You may
That's
present
correct,
your case.
yes.
You may present.
Okay, we are proposing to 3/4 of the building that's on the back of the building. It's the red brick building that actually faces Heron Street. The original structure that faces Goldthwaite at 121 North Goldthwaite will stay. And we propose to use this property as parking for future plans for the Hilltop Arms and 5 Points area. That is a view right there of what it currently looks like. The fenced view right there at the very top, if that's what y'all are looking at, is a view looking from beside the original structure from Goldthwaite into like the bay area. And then the other picture is from up on the corner from coming down from Heron Street if you were coming from the interstate. And that is what the current streetscape looks like. That again is from the very far corner of the property going all the way down Heron Street.
Any comments? Questions from the board?
I like the proposal for the fence much better than the wall. It was beginning to look a little bit like a fort.
Yes,
there.
yes, yes. And it is, I believe, like you had said, it's much more pedestrian friendly.
Yeah.
It gives a little bit more inviting to look, but still provides safety, but still provides, if there's nobody lurking behind a knee wall or a taller wall, it gives a little bit more. And we talked with them about what types of trees. We're not proposing the exact trees right now, and we will come back with that once we have done that. And we also are proposing for the creeping, what was it?
Creeping fig.
The creeping fig will go across that back wall. If you want to go back to that one picture inside the bay, that back wall that actually faces the one residential house. He now looks down, it's Alva Lambert's property, and he looks down into the bay area. We're going to do the creeping fig across that and then across that back wall because the property is at a pretty big, it grades down a good bit. So there's an existing parking lot that sits up top on Heron Street. And so when we take that building down, there'll be another retaining wall there, and we will incorporate the creeping fig there as well.
What was the height of the fence again, the proposed?
6 feet.
And the building you want to take down now, it was at one time a service center or garage or?
Correct. We're not exactly sure what the exact use of it was, but we believe it was an addition that was added on to the original structure, which is that blonde brick. But it was used in some type of conjunction with some, it's got bay doors, sometimes automobile repair. We'd heard some type of air conditioning type repair at one point for vehicles, but we're not exactly sure what it was used for. And we want to do this in order to not invade the Cottage Hill residents with parking. One of the biggest things about any type of revitalization that we want to happen in the 5 Points area, the biggest deal is parking. There is not hardly any parking up there. And this was, after looking at some different options, this was our best option. We felt like that it would be an inviting place as people were coming down Heron Street they will see this as a, it becomes inviting and not as ominous as it is now. And hopefully it'll bring some retail quicker to that front building, and we can go ahead and get some stuff working up there.
Any additional comments or questions from the board?
Well, I think you've done a good job picking out the important part of the building, and the back part of the building, while it's probably in the historic period, it's just not distinguished. And I think that if what we're getting is a rehab of the Hilltop Arms in trade, I think that's a good trade.
Any additional comments from the board? Any comments from the floor? Chair entertain a motion.
I move we approve the project as submitted.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any unreadness? Any unreadness?
Would that be the revised
The
submission?
revised, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any unreadness on this matter? All in favor of the motion? All opposed? The project has been approved.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
That was easier than the addition.
I believe that's
I have,
it, but I think we have
I have one more thing.
Yeah,
This
we have
shouldn't
one more
take very
thing.
long.
Well, we won't send a record.
Y'all missed out of that.
Okay, what have I got here? One each and pass them?
I want to walk down the
Okay,
street.
one each. Okay.
I got a request from a realtor this afternoon. Someone's looking at this property at 704 Felder, and they had a question about a fence, and since we were meeting, I said I'd ask. This is the property that Russell previously mentioned that had the dead street tree after an unfortunate excavation. But for those of you who were here, this property has no backyard. It was sold off at some point for a infill house, so the bulk of the yard is on the side. It has a vegetative screen on Felder, and the prospective buyers are interested in putting up a fence. Now here's the dilemma. They want a fence that looks like a picket fence, as pictured, but they also need it to be tall enough to keep their dog in. And after you get about if you go to 5 feet on a picket fence, it doesn't look like a picket fence anymore. So I said I would ask for some feedback. They want to put the fence behind the vegetative screen. What your feelings would be about a very tall picket fence. Would you rather see something that disappeared into the screen? You know, maybe a stained wood post and wire fence, since it's got a vegetative screen. They don't want to do a solid fence. Privacy fence is not part of the discussion, but they do want to know that they can do some sort of enclosure before they purchase the property.
My quick gut reaction, anything over about 3 feet, maybe 42 inches on a white picket fence.
Is,
you're right,
yeah, that's,
becomes not a white
right.
picket fence. What about just an aluminum or a wrought iron fence? That would kind of disappear.
How do y'all feel about that?
Hide behind landscaping if it wasn't 8 feet tall.
Dark color behind the landscaping?
Wrought iron's all over the place over there, isn't it?
It
It's not
is.
uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah. I agree. You get a white picket fence over 3.5, 4 feet tall.
It
and
doesn't look like a picket fence anymore.
No,
It looks
because-
like a stockade.
Yes.
And I think they would feel like they were in the stockade from the other side as well.
I mean,
Okay.
a picket fence is waist high, 3 feet or odd. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, but yeah,
'Cause
I would prefer, wrought iron would probably go over very well, or a lot better than a 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot picket fence.
My impression was that they thought, the realtor thought they would need at least a 5-foot fence to keep the dog in, so.
Yeah.
So something that disappears would be okay,
Yes.
Yes.
behind the vegetative screen. Okay.
Something not a white picket fence, yeah.
Wasn't there something we did on Fairview that was sort of like that came through?
It's right there, yeah.
It was on the streetscape.
Probably,
It's
I
not a
just,
pedestrian really area.
but I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, it's right there next to the corner
Yeah.
house right there.
On the,
Yeah.
Yeah, Fairview
It's a
and
craftsman
Norman
house.
Bridge
If it
Road.
had picket fence, the fence would have been dark anyway, not white.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I will let them know that. Thank you.
Or an invisible fence.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss? If not, meeting is adjourned.